This is supposed to be me singing Umbrella as a request to Cody. However, it's obviously not me singing Umbrella. So in the place of me singing Umbrella, this is me telling you that I'm not singing Umbrella. Enjoy.
When there's stuff on your mind and it's feeling unclear, just hop on the mic and speak without fear. Let's air out.
Well, what's going on, ladies and folks? Back again. Episode 40. We made it to the fourth decade of Air on Air Out, 40 episodes. Really making a dent in the podcasting world. Every time a podcast comes out, those bigger podcasts are quaking in their boots as I keep gaining one listener a week. We're getting somewhere. I'm recording video again, and honestly, it's real tough. There's a real elephant in the room, and that elephant is sitting on my top lip. If you remember, a few weeks ago, I talked about how I kept cutting my face into a mustache. Even last week I talked about this. And then I was like, I'd just chicken out and cut it before I went to work. Well, last week, guess who didn't chicken out? This guy. I was feeling gutsy. I was prepared to go walk into that lunchroom first thing in the morning, take all the stares and all the jokes and the roast, and I was just ready for it. I was psyched myself up in the car. And I did it on Monday. And I walked in that door, stone cold silence. Not a word was said about me, which honestly hurt my feelings more than people just like roasting me. It's just that mustache was it's invisible. It's invisible, I guess would be the term. It's invisible from more than 3 feet away because it's so blonde. So I think no one even noticed that I had done it unless you're sitting at like the same table for me and I was looking directly at you and the sun was staring right at me. If all those factors went into place, you saw I had a mustache. If not, ghost town. No one knew at all. A young man by the name of Liam, who I now have his consent to say his name, did notice and said, "Nice mustache." So appreciate that. Little Calhoun, that's a nice one from you. So to get around that, to skirt that issue of the invisible mustache, I picked up some Just for Men yesterday. Decided to give it a little dye job. And it's pretty jarring, honestly. I'm still not used to seeing it. I didn't want to go too crazy. I didn't want to go jet black, as was suggested by some coworkers who see this whole consent thing. We'll get into the whole consent thing again. Some coworkers said dye it black, which I think I'd be too aggressive with my brown hair. I was like, black. If I go too crazy, the managers at work can clearly be like, "Hey, that's like, you can't have that here. We're like a respectable establishment and you look like absolute dirt," which I still do now. So we'll see what's going to happen on Monday when everyone sees me. But black was too much. I was like, I'm going to go something closer to my hair color, which is brown. And there's like 3 different selections of brown. There's like dark brown, medium dark brown, and light brown. And I was worried that light brown would be too light. So I went for a medium light brown. Think like the color on the box was pretty light. So I'm like, okay, that's a pretty safe color to go for. It looks pretty similar to my hair color. However, do remember that I am colorblind. So not the greatest at selecting color profiles. So I grabbed that after work yesterday on Saturday. This is Sunday once again, by the way, just putting this podcast off, as always. So yeah, after work on Saturday, I grabbed that hair dye from Walmart along with some golf tees since we were golfing yesterday, and then texting Klaus, asking him if he can drive me out to Puslinch Lake where we're golfing. And he's like, "Yeah, of course, man. I'll be right over there." And this was at a like 10:45, and our tee time was 12:45. So I was anticipating a 12 o'clock leaving, and then like having like a nice, at least hour and a half, hour 15 to go home, shower, get this mustache nice and cleaned up well and dyed, and it's all gonna be smooth sailing. That 11 o'clock, I'm going to be right there. Really put a hamper on things. Really, really rushed me. So I immediately just like throw off my clothes, hop in the shower, take like the quickest 3-minute shower you can do by 1 minute shampoo, 1 minute condition, 1 minute body wash, get it all done. Hop out of the shower and I grab that Just for Men box. Just throw the pamphlet and the instructions on the kitchen counter and start reading what to do. You squirt some of the color, squirt some color in this little plastic tray. Then you squirt some color developer on this little plastic tray. They both look like little tiny tubes of acrylic paint. Then you mix it all together, and it's very light color, which I was concerned about, like a very light brown. So I mix that all together, and then I just go absolutely yard on my mustache, dude. I'm painting this thing like I'm painting the side of a house. It's getting all over my upper lip. Didn't even think about that. It's getting all over my face. And then you got to wait for 5 minutes. So I thickly coat this thing on, and I tell you, after that 5 minutes, it was way darker than that initial plastic tray showed. It is darkened right up. It is not the same color as the top of my head. It is a very, very contrasting. Doesn't look great. Although, if you look as from like a trashy standpoint, which is what I wanted to go for, get my trash. I've kind of lost that trash man aesthetic, and I want to get the trash man back, which I looked perfect for on the golf course, if I must say so myself. Went for a visor and a big flamingo t-shirt. It's perfect. I looked incredible. Yeah, and not only was this mustache way darker, since I went so buck wild with that brush, just got it all over my lips and looks like it's leaking out like under my nose, and like there's just like a rim around my mustache, a nice aura that looks like I was visiting an all-you-can-eat turd buffet and was just stuffing turds in my mouth all day. And now it's sloppy. It's a sloppy job. The same thing happened. We dyed our mustaches, I should say, in quotations, in first year. We went for pink for November, and then back then none of us had a mustache. Like there was like 12 hairs we were trying to dye. Mine were blonde, of course. And I remember the girls we had that helped us dye them in first year, like just dyed the hairs, like professionals. And then we all looked in the mirror like, this is horseshit. We can't even see the mustache. Can't even see the pink. What, you guys didn't even dye it. So then we just like grabbed the brush and like painted our upper lips pink. And I essentially did the exact same thing. Just painted my upper lip. Although now I can see, we'll see after a few showers. I've only taken, since doing the mustache, I've not taken a shower yet. So we'll see if that washes some stuff off my skin. I assume it'd come off the skin sooner than it would come off the hair. But I'm very ill-equipped to answer questions about hair dye. I got no idea what I'm doing. Did no research beforehand. I just saw Just for Men beard. I think I put the amount of dye you would put in a full facial beard into this mustache, though, and that's why it is so dark. So if you're watching this video podcast, look at it. Check it out in all its glory. It's I don't know how long it's going to stick around. We're going to see what the bosses at work think. Am I too much of a degenerate to work at the Millionaires Club? Or maybe it just makes me look mature and sophisticated enough that they're like, hey, you know what? We're going to make this part of our code of conduct, part of our uniform. All men must have a medium dark brown mustache. Women, I guess kind of just SOL. Maybe do your eyebrows or something. Just a thick unibrow for the ladies and some dark mustaches for the men's. I think that could be. We'll talk to the superintendent, see what we can get going there. We'll get some pieces moving here. Yeah, that was how I wanted to open this. Just break right out with this crazy mustache. But that's what it is. That's what it is. Hopefully I can keep it around. I do. It's still jarring. Like the back of my bedroom door has a mirror, and when I wake up, I'm facing that mirror, and it's still like, who's my bed? Every time I wake up, like there's someone in my bed. Oh, it's me. Who's it? Oh, I don't know. So hopefully that goes away soon. Even going to the bathroom, it's like, it's so in your face. It's so dark that I'm not used to it. Usually I'm like, I walk in, I'm like, do you have a mustache? And then when I get closer to them, I'm like, oh yeah, I do still have a mustache. Okay, that's good. That's good to know it's still there. And now I definitely know I have a mustache. Oh, that's the mustache story. Got that out of the way. So we did discuss last week about being unsure of who we could name in this podcast and who we couldn't name. I kind of talked about that a little bit in that mustache story, but we did get two consenting adults to give me their names for the podcast. First one, we have Miss Marin Hale, wrote on a paper towel a paper towel. You have permission to use my name on the podcast. Signed, Marin Hale, 6/14/2022. Welcome to the podcast, Marin Hale. What can I tell you guys about Marin Hale? Since I have consent, I figure I might as well tell a story involving them. Marin Hale is a daunting, intimidating person. She's got a very powerful aura around her that the first time we worked with her, that felt like I was going somewhere with it, and then just completely just hopped ship. I remember the first time I worked there, I'd heard stories about Marin. Working there like in the spring before the course opened up. Marin came end of April, I think. End of April, early May, I want to say. I don't know the specifics. But like everyone there, like the old guys would just talk about, you know, all the returning staff and who's coming back. Same with some of the younger, not old guys. Some of the other returning staff that aren't old guys. We're also talking about Marin. So you know, I had this. You kind of build a picture in your head of what people are gonna look like, but what people are gonna be like, just based on these stories. And I was told Marin is like doesn't mess around, speaks her mind, but also very kind and will talk to you. But hard worker, knows a lot of stuff. Yeah. This is one of those weird scenarios, like when I was talking about Ethan, where like I know the person I'm talking about is going to listen to this. So it's like you want to be complimentary, but also you want to try and be accurate and try and do that off the cuff at the same time. Very difficult. Very difficult. Now that sounds rude that I'm saying it's very difficult to compliment Marin, because she does have a lot of complimentary features that I could compliment her on. Again, now we're just getting weird. So the first time I worked with Marin, I think the very first day she was there, I remember my cart was dying, and I was driving up a hill past her, and that was the first time. She said, "Is your cart dying?" I said, "Yes." That was the first thing I said to Marin. And then in the lunchroom at the end of the day, I said, "Marin?" And she goes, "Yeah." And I said, "Aaron." And she goes, "Easy to remember." I'm like, okay, cool. This could be a tough nut to crack, Marin Hale. This could be a tough nut to crack, but I've cracked tougher nuts. And the first day we actually worked together, I had this idea that Marin's like this like super hardworking, very like, you know, no slacking, just grind, get the job done. I remember doing bunkers, and like they're giving all us new guys like a tutorial on how to rake a bunker, and Marin's like off like 3 holes away raking the bunkers like it owes her money, just going hard on the bottom of these bunkers, scraping them away. And first day I worked with her, we were taking up sod, rolling up sod on the sides of cart paths, because the drunk members just can't stay in between the lines to just chew it up. So we were moving the sod, and I remember seeing Marin just like not wearing gloves. It was like 8 degrees outside. We're like in the dirt and the mud, rolling up these sod rolls and tossing them in the back of a workman. And Marin's not wearing gloves, and I remember thinking like, that's so goddamn badass. That's so fucking cool. I want to be that cool. I want Marin to think I'm tough too. So I'm wearing gloves. Take them off. Throw on the cart. Start just going, naked digits right into the soil, trying to carry as much sod as possible. You know, like when the teacher's like, "Hey, I need some big strong boys to carry the chairs back and stack them up," and then all you and your friends are like, "Yeah, we can do it." And you like try and carry as many chairs as possible when you're like cleaning up after an assembly. That's what I was trying to do. Marin's the teacher, and I'm like, "Marin, look how much sod I'm carrying. Look at all these sod piles I'm carrying with my bare hands," and just like toss them in the workman. Trying to be all tough and make Marin think that I'm not one of those like new. One of these new hires that doesn't know what they're doing. Like, I'm different than them. I'm a strong adult that can carry my own sod without gloves. I don't need gloves, Marin. You and I, the glove-free gang. And my hands were absolutely frigid. Absolutely frigid. I don't think it had any impact at all. I don't even know if she noticed I wasn't wearing gloves. I don't think she thought I was tough in the slightest. But did I feel tough? Yeah. And then anytime I got the chance, I would like go turn around, put my back to the group, and like breathe hot air into my hands and like rub them together, and like they're like, my fingers are like arthritic and like crinkling up like crab claws. And some of the guys were like, "Aaron, you're not wearing any gloves, why don't you put gloves on?" I'm like, gloves? I'm not even cold. Like, are you crazy? And then we finally get back to the lunchroom after like 4 hours of cleaning up sod. I'm just like in the bathroom, like sobbing, rubbing hot water over my hands, trying to thaw them out. And that was my first experience with Marin Hale. trying to impress her with my ability to carry sod barehanded. And did she notice? No. She was just too dead focused on carrying her own sod. And that was the first story I had about Marin Hill. She drives standard. I can tell you guys that. Her license plate number is... No, could you imagine? You only gave me permission for your name. I didn't even know if I should use last names either. I was trying to debate on that, but you did write on this permission slip that I have right here. It's right here on the video podcast. It has your first name on it, your last name on it, should I say. So use both of them. If you didn't want it, shouldn't have signed it. Now I got that for life. Second consensual name drop we had. I don't have the piece of paper with me, but I feel like he's earned it. That's a man, you've already heard his name. Liam Calhoun. The Calhoun at the Calhouns. Liam Calhoun, young man, young lad. His sister also works there, who did not give consent. So sorry, I can't say your name. Other unnamed Calhoun. You don't get it. I have named her boyfriend, though, David. What's up, David? How's it going? Hope you're having a great time listening to the podcast. Liam went above and beyond. Absolutely above and beyond with this whole consent thing. So Marin had signed this paper towel, which is becoming a thing, it seems to be at work. People just signing paper towels for me, which is cool. I'm down to have that as one of my things. And then she jokingly like, do you want me to put blood on it? Like, I got a scab, I can put blood on it. She didn't. She opted out of it, and I was fine with that. But Liam, I required blood. I requested it from Liam. So one day at lunch, Liam wants to get on the podcast. I don't even know how it started. I think he just asked for consent to be on the podcast, and maybe Marin chimed in and be like, you have to write your name in blood or something. And Liam took that to heart. And he had a bloody nose one day, which happens a lot because he's just a fiend on the cocaine, man. You can't even stop him. Like, he's like in the bunker snorting the sand because he thinks it's all cocaine. We're like, Liam, it's not. It's just sand, Liam. You can't do that. And he's just like, I can't help it. My nostrils require sustenance. Like, it's bad, man. Like, we're going to have to get him a counselor or something. But so his nose is bleeding at the lunchroom. And I'm like, Liam, you could use that blood, to start my consent form. So this poor little, he's 18 years old. He's a young man. He's sitting at the lunch table with a big wad of Kleenex covered in blood in one hand, and then he's sticking his nose in his bloody nostril and writing his name on a paper towel, slowly but surely, just getting out Liam. Luckily, it's only a 4-letter name. If his name was like Muhammad or something, he'd need a couple extra noses, honestly. So he's just writing his name in blood on this paper towel at lunchtime. I'm just giving him absolutely no respect either. I'm just not accepting anything he's doing for me. I feel like I'm bullying Liam at points of the day. I feel like there's a certain line where it goes from casual bashing to just straight up bullying. And I think making a boy 10 years younger than you write his name in blood just to please you feels like that could cross the line from friendly banter into bullying. And then so finally at the end of his nosebleed, after 15 minutes, he holds up this wrinkled up paper towel, kind of like he's showing his parents a macaroni turkey he just made in kindergarten class. Hey, look what I made. And it's Liam written in all squiggly red blood. And you know what I said, Liam? I said, that's just your name, buddy. That's not a consent form. You got to write out the whole consent. And then I told him he looks like garbage in his work outfit with his shirt tucked in. It just looks like trash. So immediately he did all that work getting blood for me. And I just said no. But you know what, Liam? It paid off because you're on the podcast. And honestly, I don't even know if you listen to the podcast. You have not said a word to me about the podcast. I've only ever heard it from other people. So if you don't listen to this, I'm going to cut it. If I don't hear you talk about this episode, I'm going to cut this out and re-upload. So there's your ultimatum. Listen to my podcast or you're out of the... It's not a very big threat, eh? It's like people say they're going to boycott something that anti-maskers we're going to boycott this place that requires masks. It's we're not going to let you in anyways because you're not wearing masks. So it's just win-win situation for us. Yeah, so those are the consensual name drops we have allowed on the podcast. Welcome, both of you, Liam and Marin. I hope your newfound celebrity status is not too overwhelming for you guys. It will make telling stories in the future easier, though. We'll see what happens with the rest of you. Hope maybe some people get jealous that you guys got your names dropped in the podcast and like, hey, you know what? We got to get some consent. You know what I'm going to say? You better get some blood first. And we don't care where the blood comes from either, honestly. I'm not DNA testing this. It doesn't have to be your blood. Just blood in general. I will know if it's red colored food coloring though. I've got the nose for that. I can smell the iron in the blood, and you're not going to slip that one past me with some red colored Kool-Aid. Nuh-uh. You think I don't know what cherry Kool-Aid smells like? I do. So, what else do I have to talk about? Like you guys know, I did get a request to sing Umbrella after the Fergalicious. Went so viral, so viral. Like 30 people listened to it. Absolutely crazy. Yeah, one of our assistant intendant in training. He's one of those things. Requested Umbrella. And because it's Sunday, I don't have time to throw that together today. But I guess throughout the week at some point, I'll have to put together my own version of Umbrella by Rihanna and get that out for, I guess, episode 41, hopefully. So that's coming for you, unnamed third in command. Fourth in command? One of the two. Are you even in command if you're in training? I don't know. Oh, I did write down some things, though. Or I could just talk about golfing yesterday. Very quickly. Yeah. Umbrella. Talked about that. Marin and Liam, we talked about that. Terrence just wanted to be in a WhatsApp group. That is, Terrence is not someone I know. That was just an autocorrect. But I play soccer on Sundays, as you guys know. And we have a soccer WhatsApp group just to like, because we're all free agents, we don't know each other. It's like, we should like do this in case you can't make it to a game or something, give updates, yada, yada, whatever. I'm in it and have not sent a single message and don't plan on it. I missed 2 weeks and I still didn't let anyone know that I wasn't going to be there. And guess what? In the future, I'm not going to be there. Probably still not going to let them know. Just not going to show up. But this one girl she was there week 1. She organized the WhatsApp group. And she's very active in the WhatsApp group as well. Has not been to a game since. Has missed the last 5 games. And she's always like, I'm going to be there, guys. And then just doesn't show up. And I'm really getting the vibe here that she didn't sign up for free agent soccer to be on a soccer team. I think she just wanted to be in a WhatsApp group. She's been hearing about WhatsApp and like what's going on. She's now like, her friends don't want to get her in a WhatsApp group. She's like, I got to find a group of people that get me in this WhatsApp group. And I can see what's going on, what's going on WhatsApp. So she joined a free agent soccer team. She suggested we make a WhatsApp group to like say when we're not going to make it. And then she stopped showing up once she got all our numbers. So Terrence, that's not your name, but I'm on to you. I know you just wanted to be in a WhatsApp group, and that felt like a nothing story. Hopefully you show up at one time though. That's maybe the last game she'll show up again, but I don't know. Parking. You want to hear what the parking situation going on here? It's because it's about to get way worse. So I mean, if you know where we live, some of you have picked me up from my house, but it's a war zone out here. It's like I go from working beautiful Westmount Golf and Country Club to come home in Afghanistan, absolutely just dust and dirt everywhere. And they've been teasing us with they're doing curbing and like asphalt coming up. And we just got an email that it's coming up in next week, next Monday, tomorrow, literally tomorrow. And we're going to be kicked out of our parking spots and like have no vehicle access into this area until mid-August. Like, this project started last August and with an anticipated completion date of November 2021. And now they're just paving August 2022. And there's still more steps after that. They're like, I don't know what it is. I didn't really thoroughly read the email once I saw the mid-August and they're kicking us out once again. So I have to go park like, my parking, God, I can't string a sentence together for the life of me. They give us parking passes to make up for the atrocious treatment they've given us for the parking in our complex. Not to mention like all the times we've lost water and just had nothing, no warning, just no water. And when you lose water, the thing is, I guess like air gets into the tubes, right? The pipes. And so you turn off the water, they get filled with air, and then when you like the water comes back on, you turn the taps on. It's like a goddamn jump scare every single time. It just hisses and like, and then water finally comes, and it terrifies me every single time. I know what's coming, and still it gets me every single time. Such a loud, airy hiss, and then water comes out. I wonder how those sound effects are gonna come across. Hopefully, I effectively demonstrated the annoyance and sound of what the loss of water does to you. But yeah, now they're kicking us out for a month and a half, no parking. And as I said, they give us parking passes for like the streets all around us. I guess they have to communicate with the city, and the city's like not stoked about it. So they give us like a month parking pass, and they put a white sticker on it that says like you can park on the odd numbered side of this street, and then you have to park there, or else you can get a parking ticket. And I absolutely get hosed like multiple times where they give me a street that's like a 10-minute walk away from my apartment. Or are we in no, we're not an apartment. We're in a townhouse, I guess. What's the difference between a townhouse and a condo? I don't know. Is a condo like a isolate? I don't know what a condo is. Just another. I have to add that to my Google list. What is a condo? The definition, like specifically of what a condo is. Is a condo different than an apartment? I don't know. Yeah. So I always have to get parked like 10 minutes away. It's a long walk, but I'm a genius this time. I thought it through, and there's a street straight across from us that's like the closest possible option. And I do have a parking pass for there. And my new one for starting Monday is for like 3 blocks away. So I'm going to cut out the little white sticker they put on my old parking pass, apply it to my new parking pass, and now I'm parking right across the street from the house. Big brain time. Look at that genius. Like, there's no way you're going to be able to tell that I did that if you're a parking patrol officer. Like, they're just going to walk through and just, like, look, like, yellow tag, and then right street. So they're not going to, like, thoroughly investigate. And it's hanging through a window, too. And when they're checking it, there's only no parking between 2 a.m. and 6 a.m. My car is gone by 5:40. So it's like a 3-hour window for them to check that, and it's going to be dark. So, like, I think I'm going to get away with it. Yeah. That's it. That's all I have for the parking story. Other than that, what did my week, before we get to golfing, what was my week like? Monday. What did I do Monday? It's just a work day. I worked, then I came home, finished editing the podcast. I think I put it up. I painted an Arby's beef and cheddar. I think I did that on Monday for the video podcast. Threw that up. Tuesday. What happened Tuesday? I don't remember. I know we didn't have Taco Tuesday. I can tell you that. So no Taco Tuesday stories. When I was cutting greens at one time today, I did sack myself with the greens mower, and then it got caught in my fly, and then it was tugging me by my crotch partially across the green until I caught myself loose. So that was a thing that happened, and now I got a hole in the crotch of my shorts, which I'm not new to. I have blown the taint out of so many work pants you wouldn't believe. Like, I'm a hard squatter. I drop to the ground faster than you could imagine. Just down low, investigating whatever's down there, ready to go on my hands and knees. And you do that, and you don't have like pants like loose enough. You just boom, just splits right at the crotch. I used to at Wessick. Both my pairs of pants I wore for Wessick. I mean, they were already like oil covered and like poop covered, so I really didn't care about them. So I would just like in the morning, I'd just slap a piece of duct tape on the inside of the pants and just tape them together. Because when I would sit in like my lawn chair on the side of the road waiting for the poop trucks to come, I would just be like, I'd be man spreading into the road, and then if I didn't have that duct tape there, it's just full view of my testicles. Well, I guess full view of my underpants, but then inside the underpants, there's testicles there, and I didn't want people to know that there were testicles there. I guess they could probably assume there were giving me testicles there, but I didn't want to just give it away for free, you know. Make them work at some level for it. Look through 2 layers of clothing, or a layer of duct tape and a layer of clothing. So like, you know, ripping a hole in my shorts. The crotch is a little tougher because at least the taint, when you're standing upright, it's hidden. but the crotch is like right below the end of the fly. There's a little hole, but it's not too big of a hole, so I don't think people are really going to notice. I honestly didn't even notice there was a hole there until I told people at lunch that I sacked myself with the greens mower. Because if you don't know, the greens mower, look it up. I don't even know what, it's like a Toro Greensmaster 1060 or something. I don't know what it actually is, but like they're just powered, and all you really got to do is walk in a straight line, spin around, and keep walking. Like keep full throttle the whole time. You never stop moving. So when I spun it around, I spun it right into my nuts, and then it like got caught in the zipper, and then since it's powered, and I was still like holding like the dead man, those like dead man's clutch, those things like your lawnmower have when you let go of it, it keeps going, or you let go of it and it stops going. I still have my hands on that because I don't know, instinctually I'm like, I must cut this green, and then it like kept tugging me until I'm like fiddling with one hand on my pants and one hand on the mower, got myself free. So yeah, that happened maybe on Tuesday or Monday, one of those days. Yeah, very uneventful week, honestly. No, it was a goddamn hot one out, though. I'll tell you that much. It was about 45 degrees. Felt like 45 degrees to 2 or 3 days going on there. And I tell you, when it's 45 degrees outside in the afternoon, I am not working. I'm not getting anything done. And also, you know what I learned is when I'm not getting work done, I then decide that no one else is getting work done either. Me and an unnamed coworker who, I bet you wish you gave consent now, apparently not a good partnership you should give us, because I like to work at the same level as my partner. So if my partner's going hard, I'm going just as hard as you are. But you give me a partner who's not working hard, ooh, guess who's not working hard either? This guy. So you get two guys in a cart that don't want to work on a really hot day, nothing's getting done. And not only is nothing getting done, we then drive over to find young little Liam, who's working hard. And we're like, hey, Liam, that's enough of that hard work. You can come join the non-working crew. Oh, Liam does cartwheels. I didn't tell you that, man. That was the craziest thing I've ever seen all week. That might be the most exciting thing I saw all week. Not only does he bleed, he does cartwheels too. He's a Renaissance man. We were just in the compound, which is just this dirt patch at the back of the golf course where you just dump whatever you want. It's just a free for all. And he's like, I can do cartwheels, and we're like, okay, prove it, because that's like a big claim. You can't just say I can do cartwheels and then not do a cartwheel. And he goes, front or reverse? I didn't even know there was a thing as a reverse cartwheel. Did you? I had no idea. So he lines up for a cartwheel. Of course I said reverse. That'd be stupid not to. And he fakes it. He like feints. Like, is that what it's called? Like a feint? I think it means a feint. If you feint a punch, you're like, oh. He like fakes going forward, and then boom, he's backwards and he's back on his feet again. Just on one hand too. He just doesn't even two-hand it on the ground. Just one hand, flips his leg over his head and lands. Absolutely insane. My jaw dropped. It was the coolest thing I ever saw, and I didn't expect it. I asked for reverse, and I still didn't expect the reverse. Absolutely blew my mind. And same with the unnamed coworker number 1 sitting beside me. And then he did a forward one too, and then I was like, I wanted more. I was thirsting here. I'm like the mouth breather at the circus. More cartwheel, please. Just because I'm just an imbecile that can be entertained by anything. And then I wanted to see how many he could do in a row. And then unnamed coworker number 1 was like, no, we can't do that. There's too many rocks and stuff down here. And I'm like, I don't think what's the worst that can happen? He's gonna get like bloody. Like, I insist on that. I require his blood for my entertainment. But no, he didn't do any. So Liam, at some point, we're gonna find a patch of grass and you're gonna do cartwheels for me till I say you can't. And that's what's gonna happen. So that was super exciting. That might have been Thursday, I want to say it was. Again, the days just bleed together. It could have been Friday, actually. Might have been Friday, now that I think about it. And then after Liam entertained me sufficiently, went and found Marin and Liam's sister. Bet you wish you gave consent to Liam's sister. And they looked like they were doing some work, so we had to put a kibosh to that and just stop them. And then the managers came and found us. And honestly, I was like, what are they going to do? What are they going to do? Their entire full-time staff is not working. Like, what are you going to do? Come on, we can't get rid of us, because then you got no one. So you just gotta let it happen, as Tame Impala would say. Yeah, and that was our wet hot American summer. That was our wet hot American summer. Those 2 days. And then Saturday rolls along. I already told you about my morning. Went to work, absolutely crushed it on the greens. Cut my 4 greens in 1 hour. Unheard of. I think they already said they're making a plaque for like a fastest finisher, Aaron Brock, which I do everything fast, as I've said and passed on the podcast. I'm just a speed run in life. So it was only a matter of time that I set the land speed record for a greens mower. But after that, then I raked like 150 bunkers, I swear. And there's only like 50 bunkers on Westman. I don't even know where I found these other bunkers, but I was raking them. Yeah, it was just a quick day at home. Not at home, at the home course. Then went home, dyed a mustache, and then went off to Puslinch. Oh, I went to Winners too. Have you guys been to Winners? Absolute sickest store. They got such a great selection. I got like my new favorite shirt. Where is this thing? Okay. Look at this. You can't see it if you're not watching it, obviously. But look at this beautiful shirt. Just flamingos wearing sunglasses, and then like with this mustache, and then oh man. So like the two come together already looked great. They honestly looked absolutely phenomenal. And then I threw the visor on top too. I was going between visor, bucket hat. The visor looked way better. And oh my God. And some sunglasses, full on degenerate, fully just absolutely atrocious. I don't know why I'm crinkling up a straw wrapper right now. I'm just fired up by this flamingo shirt, man. And it brought me right back into the trash man vibe. I just felt, I was like, this is where I belong. Just looking like an absolute piece of garbage, you know? Just no regard for my personal appearance. And then I loved it. Loved every second of it. Looked like I belonged on that golf course. And I tell you, I played awful. I just, gosh darn terrible. Shot like a 124. That feels like a generous 124, maybe even closer to a 130. Because I did give up counting on some holes, you know. It just, at some point, once the numbers get above 8, it gets hard to count them. It's they're hard to pronounce, those higher digits. But yeah, so it didn't look great. But I was cranking THC drinks, and I think that didn't help either. But I enjoyed myself. Enjoyed the heck out of myself. Playing with Klaus and Will and Ryan. None of those guys have given consent, by the way. They're just grandfathered in because I've known them longer than 3 months. Yeah, I don't know what else I can say. We were at Puslinch. I don't know how it's pronounced. Puslinch Lake or Puslink or Puslinch or Puslinch. I don't know. I don't know what the pronunciation is. Right off the 401 though, just in Cambridge. Nice, easy course. As always, just notoriously slow golf group. We are just, if you ever get behind us on the golf course, you're in trouble because we're just degenerates out there. Impossibly slow. Our balls, 4 balls hit 4 different directions. Like we're driving all over the map. On one hole I played, I think like the fairways are just stacked pretty much in a row. You go up one, down the other, up one. So we're like in the middle fairway, and there's a fairway on each side of us. I think my drive went to the right hand fairway, and then I tried to put it back in our fairway, shot it right over to the left hand fairway. So we had to drive across 3 fairways to get to my ball. And then guess what I did? Shot it right back over to the third fairway. Played the entire hole without ever touching our fairway, but did touch 2 other fairways. And we're just zipping back and just played it like a zipper all over. And Will was my partner during this round. And Will's an absolute like sick golfer. He's rarely losing balls, and he's just, I think he shot an 87. He's like, that was a terrible golf game for me. And Will hits like a dead center drive down the real fairway, and he's just stuck driving me back and forth to my ball all over the place. So that's essentially how my entire day went. Just never playing in the proper fairway. Just topping balls. My chipping, I'm a lethal chipper and just lost the hands. Just could not chip anything. Yeah, couldn't chip anything. Putting, hands of a stonemason. Couldn't do anything. Just wielding Thor's hammer and just whacking the balls. Will tells me like, okay, this putt is like give her like a 6 out of 10 on the speed, and then I hit it. What I think is a 6 out of 10, and it's just a rocket ship. It's going. It's honestly it's going to the next fairway. They saw where all the ball's been going before. It's like I'm just gonna join them. Just cut to the chase. And I think the problem is my 10 and Will's 10 are very different. Like I think 10 is like the absolute hardest I could hit this ball, and a 10 for Will is like the hardest you should ever putt the ball. So my 10 is probably like a 42 for his 10 scale. So yeah, I got to get that dialed in. I got to figure out. But putting is just like it's the most boring thing, the most boring part of golf. I'm here to like hit the ball as hard and straight as I can. That's all I want to do. I don't want to like gently roll the ball along the ground. Like that's so boring. I'm not going to go to a putting green on the weekend and like spend my time tap, tap, tap. Like I want dong, dong, dong with that driver, you know? So my putting's just never going to get better. And I accept that. I'm just always going to shoot in the hundreds because I'm going to 4-putt every single hole I play, which I'm fine with. I'm fine with because I had a good time. And that's the key. We did learn, it seems that nicotine makes me a better golfer and THC makes me a worse golfer. Worse. I said that like I'm missing 2 front teeth. A worse golfer. But all in all, a good weekend. Any big moments happen on that golf trip? I don't think so. Nothing I can really remember, like other than like some cool shots. You know, Klaus had a chip in. I hit an absolute howitzer on the 18th hole. It was a par 5, and I think I got my first shot went. So the hole is like a hard. I don't even know if it's a dogleg. It's like a hard right turn, to get to the green. Par 5, and beside the 18th, you're going one way. The first hole is coming the opposite direction as you on your right hand side. So my drive, mean slice to the right, goes into the first, just the rough on the first hole, and there's just a wall of trees in front of me. And Will's just like, I think your only option here is to just power it straight over the trees and aim for like where you think the 18th fairway is. So that's exactly what I did. Pull up my 4 hybrid, hit an absolute Gauss cannon right off the ground. Lost it immediately, but it felt so good. I'm like, I think I did it. Like I had no idea where it went. So if we don't see this ball on the other side of the trees, we're screwed. So we leave, go find Will's ball. It's in a perfect spot, like dead center fairway. Will plays it up, no problem. We round the corner of where this 18th hole turns right to go to the green, and there's a ball sitting in the fairway at like 50 yards from the green. Shot number 2. Guess whose ball it is? It's my ball. Absolutely crushed it. I'm looking at like a chip and a putt, you know, or even a chip and 2 putts. That'd be a par, which is incredible for me. If I can just chip it on the green, 2 putt it in. I'd never get pars. Rarely. I did get 1 par. I got a par on the 10th hole. Got in 4 strokes after just a laser of a pitching wedge. But you know, it was a big pressure moment. You know, Klaus and Ryan pulled their card up to my shot. Will pulled it up to my chip, and they're like, "Okay, Aaron, this is it. This is it." Like, oh, think about how cool this is gonna be when you chip it on the green and then putt it in. And you get a birdie, or you can potentially get an eagle here. And you just chip it in, and I'm like, okay, I'm feeling good. I'm feeling real good. Get my chipper out, line up on it, take my practice swings. Not feeling great, honestly. I haven't been liking chipping in the fairway, but you know. Big time players make big time plays and big time games. And I cock that chipper back, I swing it through, and I just fucking duff it and send the ball 5 yards in front of me. And just the crowd goes mild, just dead silence. Everyone's like, okay, yeah, there goes the eagle. He's not getting birdie either. There's no chance. That's just it's all over for Aaron. Walk up 5 yards, get my chipper again, line it up. Same shot, exact same thing. I've moved ahead 10 yards, and at that point, Will left at this point. He's gone. The excitement's over. He went to go find his ball. I just walk away from my ball to go grab my putter. I'm still like 40 yards out. I'm like, I'm just putting this. I'm not dealing with this chipper anymore. And then I ended up I think I ended up with a 7 on that hole, which ended up losing us the match as well to Klaus and Ryan. So it was tough. It was a real tough finish. They beat us by one stroke. Yeah. Yeah, if we had won that hole, we would have pushed the match. We would have tied it. And then they ended up going up, I guess, +2 on that. So, tough way to end the day. Very disappointing that I had to toot chip and 3-putt from 50 yards out. But that's what happens when you got no short game. That's what happens. And that was my Saturday. And guess what happened on... Oh, and then I get home from golfing at like 6 p.m. on Saturday. Chat with Ethan and Martin. They're filming for Losers on Drugs. And I just run upstairs. And I'm going to take a quick little nap. They had ordered a bunch of McDonald's for the video they're shooting. Which, that's... You wouldn't believe me if I said that. That's like, these are props. You know? You look at these guys like, oh yeah, it's for a video. Okay, sure. It was though. This morning I saw the fish tank full of McDonald's food, which you'd think, I mean, in a different household, that might be like off-putting to you. But in our household, that's just like, yeah, that's just Saturday, you know? Just a fish tank with a French fry base on there. Had a cup on the side. Looks like a little water tank. Some burgers in there. Yeah, it was a nice little burger terrarium. But what was I saying? Yeah, I came home at like 6 p.m. Was going to take a quick little nap. We still had yoga to do. Ethan wanted to like catch up and hear about the golf round. So I'm like, okay. I went upstairs. Didn't even change. Just like lied in my bed for a second. Closed my eyes. And then woke up at midnight. Just didn't set an alarm. Didn't think I'd need to. Thought I was like probably asleep for like an hour or so. I didn't take a nap after work, so I was dyeing this mustache. So I think I was just more tired than I had expected. So I slept till midnight. And then at that point, I'm not going to like wake up and do anything. I just had to go right back to bed. So just slept until I had to go to work at 5:30. So yeah, just a nice 12 hours of sleep Saturday night. Today, came home like I don't need a nap. Got some McDonald's for breakfast though, because I had a little hankering after seeing that terrarium this morning. And then after eating McDonald's, I was like, you know what? I could use a nice nap. And then slept from 11:30 till 1:30, another 2-hour nap. And then here we are, 2 o'clock, started recording this podcast. And what else we got to do? We got to edit this thing. We got to do a double dip of yoga, which is going to be tough because doing the 2 weekend sessions, that's like probably going to be over an hour of yoga we got coming up. And then I got to head to soccer, and then I got to head to Klaus's house to go play some Zombicide with him and Andrea. Andrea, his girlfriend. We've been playing Zombicide. Last Sunday was the first time. Well, I guess the second time we played, but then I decided, like, Sunday nights, I'm playing soccer right by their house anyways that they just got. So I'm just going to, pop over there. We'll do a Zombicide quest. It's like a board game, a very, like a really dumbed down D&D, like a super basic one. There's just like quests you set up from a notebook. And yeah, we just do. It takes like an hour and a half, probably closer to an hour and a half with setup and takedown to get through a quest. So I think we're going to do that Sunday nights after soccer from like 8 till 9:30. Last time I went there, last Sunday, Chris and I, like, we vaped a bit and, like, got some drinks, THC drinks. And then I had to, like, crash on their couch, and I was just a milk puddle Monday morning, just sleeping on a little tiny couch for, like, 4 hours. I was a mess Monday morning. It was tough. Luckily, they put me on a fairway mower, so I could just, like, sit all morning, but I can't do that again. I'm getting a little too old for the crashing on couches. Luckily, though, THC doesn't give you a hangover, so at least I was just tired and not, like, upset stomach, vomity, feeling terrible. So that wasn't too bad. But, yeah, that's the rest of my night. And other than that, we're back to another exciting week. Got next week though, we got exciting. We got Big Willie's birthday on Friday, Monday, June 24th. Friday, Monday, June 24th. I feel like I've told that story on the podcast before. First time I met Will in residence in first year. He was we're like, when's your birthday, Will? And he goes, Monday, June 24th. I'm like, really? Wow, this man is dialed in. He already knows the day. Like in September, he looked ahead, knows what day his birthday's on. I'm like, yeah, I like this guy. And Jess is like, I've never forgotten that. None of us have. It's just Monday, June 24th is Will's birthday. And I remember that year, just always Monday, June 24th, Monday, June 24th. And color me surprised when Monday, June 23rd rolls around. That was a little, I think Will might have been just as surprised. He goes, oh, no way. My birthday's on a Tuesday. Huh, who'd have thought? And yeah, I'll never forget that. Monday, June 24th. Will Breen. Oh, I mean, who cares? Will Breen. Lightning McBreen. He never goes by that name. Like, I gave him gold here. I give Will so many great names. Lightning McBreen. The heir to the chair. Bill Barbecue. I'm giving him Wilson Mandela. Like, I'm giving him so many gold names here, and he just goes by Big Willie. Like, come on. But, can't win them all. I'll have to find some other Will I can give nicknames to. I don't know where I'll find one of those, though. They're a dime a dozen. Does that mean there's a lot of them, actually? Yeah, it would. They're $1 million a dozen Wills. Other than that, yeah. Big Willie's birthday. Friday, he's coming down. Don't know what we'll get up to, but probably some shenanigans. Get to some shenanigans. Probably end up skipping soccer next weekend. We'll see, though. We'll see. Soccer team, if you're listening to this, which I don't see how you would. I got to go to soccer with this mustache, too, though. That's going to be... It's one thing to, like, go with your coworkers who know you and kind of, like, understand, okay, yeah, that is something Aaron would do, dye his mustache. Another thing to, like, go with complete strangers and have to, like, explain this whole, like, dyed mustache thing. That is not... It's not for a bit. It's just purely because I'm like, yeah, I wanted to dye my mustache. It was blonde. Now it's brown. Hey, just deal with it. So that'll be a bit of a weird one, but I'm sure they'll get over it after they see my sick defensive skills. I actually had to play goalie for a minute in the last game. Very tight game. We lost 5-4, which is the most I've ever seen us score before. I think like 2 weeks ago they lost like 18-0. So 5-4 is nice. It seems that since I've been away, I missed the 2 weeks prior. We've gotten like 2 ringers who are just like lethal at soccer, which is nice because like now I can kind of like sit back on defense and do nothing. And these 2 guys will just like carry the team. So yeah, that was cool. Seeing them, we almost won. And in the last 5 minutes, our goalkeeper's like, I want to go kick the ball. Like, we don't have a defined goalie. It's just this one guy is just like volunteered to be goalie, and I don't think he likes being goalie. So I was like, okay, yeah, fine. I'm already on defense. I can go. I'll play goalie. And terrified the entire time. I was like, I have PTSD from being a goalie in house league soccer, being 7 years old and being like the only kid to ever get pulled out of as a goalie. Normally play half a period. I played like 6 minutes of a period, letting 3 goals. One of them was a pass from my teammate that I just let roll right through my legs. So after that experience, that traumatizing experience as a child, I was not ready to play goalie against adults kicking cannons at me. But the one shot that made it through, I saved. So 1 for 1, 100% save percentage. I'm elite. But other than that, gang, we've gone through the list. We have done our consensual name drops, and I think that's it for the podcast. So, hope you guys enjoyed episode 40 of Aaron Air Out. Hope you guys are cutting lawns out right there right now. Hope you had a great time cutting your lawns. Hope you had straight lines. And you'll find me right back here once again next week on I feel like everyone listens on Spotify, but some people could be on Apple too. I gotta check. I haven't checked the numbers lately to see how people are listening to it, but yeah, hope you enjoyed. I appreciate you all. I love and respect all of you, and I hope you have a wonderful week until you get to hear my voice again. So take care, sleep tight, and Aaron out.
Thanks for listening. Hope you enjoyed your stay. Now take what you learned and have a great day. Damn, it feels good to air out.